Today's video is on the verb tener, which is one of the most useful and used verbs in Spanish. Tener means to have. We use it just like the English verb in many contexts. Tener is irregular. It's part of the go group, which means that in the yo form, it ends in go. It also stem changes for the other conjugations. So observe the conjugations. I'm going to give you sample sentences here. Tengo un hijo. Go ahead and translate that. I have a son or a child, depending on context. ¿Tú tienes hijos? Do you have children? And note, the pronoun tú is optional and usually omitted. ¿Usted tiene una cita mañana? You, and we're being polite here, have an appointment tomorrow. Él tiene dos abuelos. He has two grandparents or grandfathers, depending on context. Marta tiene 6 sobrinos. Marta has 6 nieces and nephews. Tenemos 18 primos. We have 18 cousins. ¿Tienen ustedes una familia grande? Do you, plural, have a large family? Josefa y Juan tienen 3 nietos, which means Josefa and Juan have 3 grandchildren. Now note, tener is not used as a helping verb. In English, we would say, I have studied. But in Spanish, we're not going to use the verb tener. We're going to use the verb haber. So I have studied would mean he estudiado. Now note, this tense is called the present perfect. We study the present perfect in Spanish 201. Now, tener is also used, just like in English, for the phrase to have to do something. And the format is tener que plus the infinitive. And we're going to conjugate the verb tener, but the infinitive will remain in its infinitive form. Again, let's look at some examples and be sure to translate them so you're constantly practicing. Tengo que estudiar means I have to study. Tienes que limpiar este sábado. Do you have to clean this Saturday? ¿Tiene que esperar usted aquí? You, formal, have to wait here. Ana tiene que trabajar mañana. Ana has to work tomorrow. Tenemos que ir de vacaciones pronto. We have to go on vacation soon. ¿Tienen ustedes que asistir a la clase? You, plural, have to attend class. Ellas tienen que viajar este fin de semana. They have to travel this weekend. Now, tener is often used in expressions where we would use the verb to be in English. In the following sentences, it would be incorrect to use either ser or estar. Tengo frío means I'm cold. Tengo calor, I'm hot. Tengo hambre, I'm hungry. Tengo sed, I'm thirsty. Tengo miedo, I'm afraid. Tengo sueño, I'm sleepy. Now, if we want to say I'm very cold, we would say tengo mucho frío. And since we're modifying frío, which is a noun, we must use an adjective. Observe. Tengo poco hambre. I'm not very hungry. Tengo demasiada sed. I'm too thirsty. Now notice the noun sed is feminine and singular, so we must use demasiada to modify it. If I wanted to say I'm very thirsty, I would say tengo mucha sed. In addition to these expressions, tener is used in many other colloquial expressions. The following are among the most common expressions and are usually used instead of alternative phrasing. What I mean is, just like in English, we can often say the same thing in many different ways. The following group of expressions are used more often using tener than alternative expressions. So tener blank años means to be so many years old. For example, Bella tiene 8 años, which would mean Ana is 8 years old. Tener cuidado means to be careful. Again, example, ten cuidado. And this means be careful. Now, note, this is actually an informal command, and I know we haven't studied them yet, but this is a phrase that we hear all the time, so I wanted to be sure you understand that ten cuidado means be careful. Tener dolor de means to have a pain in. For example, tengo dolor de cuello. I have neck pain. And more specifically, tener dolor de cabeza means to have a headache. Ana tiene dolor de cabeza, therefore means Ana has a headache. Tener éxito means to be successful. Martín tiene éxito means Martín is successful. Tener fiebre means to have a fever. Juan tiene fiebre means Juan has a fever. This phrase we see a lot. Tener ganas de means to feel like. Now, literally, ganas means desire, but we translate it in English as to feel like. For example, tengo ganas de bailar means I feel like dancing. Tener prisa, to be in a hurry. Juan siempre tiene prisa means Juan is always in a hurry. Tener razón, to be right. Tienes razón. This is the phrase we always want to hear our significant other say because it means you're right. No tener razón means to be wrong. Él no tiene razón. He is wrong. Tienes suerte, to be lucky. Tenemos suerte, therefore means we are lucky. Tener tos, to have a cough. Los niños tienen tos. The kids have a cough. Now, tener is used in many other colloquial expressions. We'll not cover them here in this PowerPoint because they're alternative phrasings that are not always the first choice in ordinary conversations. However, I have included them as part of the handout that I'm sending with this group of exercises.